we are mildly interesting guys, and we talk about some stuff. So welcome to the podcast, we call it Joel the Podcast. It's Alex and it's Alex, here for Joel the Podcast. Bzz. Hello everybody, I'm Alex.
And I'm Alex.
And this is our podcast, Joel. Welcome to episode 65 of Joel the Podcast. And we are here on November 2nd, recording.
Yep.
And day before the election.
It's really weird. Everybody, by the time anyone else listens to this,
the election will be over. Well, they might not know, actually, but...
Maybe not. They'll know something.
They'll know a lot more than we do, at least.
I really have no idea what's going to happen.
So, I wanted to start off by letting everyone know that Nathan does not owe me $1.
Alex doesn't owe me $1.
Yeah, and so with that out of the way, I do want to talk about the election a bit. Not getting super political, but so I like to track. I've been tracking the state polls for a couple months now. The important states. Well, the most important states. Obviously, there are other states that matter, but they have fewer electoral votes. So
right.
Right now, I have it up on my wall over here. Let me go take. Oh, probably should take my phone, which is recording. So it looks like. We have, here, I'll show you, the listeners can't see, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I updated this today, 7 of the 10 states on this board are within the margin of error.
Wow.
Which is less than 3%, one way or the other.
That's wild.
So it's gonna be an interesting election, that's what I'll say.
So there's one thing I noticed on your board, and I've seen it a couple other places too, that I just would have never expected to be a factor in this election, and it's probably just because I've only been paying attention for a couple elections, but that's the fact that Texas is like competitive.
Yes, and so the interesting thing is, as I updated today, it was actually Trump that was gaining in most of the states, but Texas, Trump actually lost, like, his lead diminished between today and Saturday or whatever the last time I updated it was. So, I don't know, it'll be really interesting to see, because Texas, it might be the case that if Trump loses Texas, he just loses the election, because it's 38 electoral votes. So,
yeah, that's definitely a difficult margin to overcome. That's, over 70 vote swing.
Right.
From basically you would count on him to win Texas to having to make that up by basically winning every other state on your board, right?
Right. So after looking out of those 10 states, so for the listeners, the 10 states are Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Texas, Arizona, and Minnesota. I think Trump can lose, or Trump has to win all but 2 of those states, or maybe all but 3 if they're some of the lower vote states of those states to win the election. So he definitely has a lower chance, but it's certainly not out of the question.
Right. So, I've seen lots of forecasts that are starting to use more convincing language that he's not going to win, but I don't think anyone's outright. Everybody.
No one can know. After what happened 4 years ago, no one can like rule it out, because that's exactly what happened 4 years ago.
That's that's exactly it. That's the thing. Is just no matter what it says, I'm going to think, well, there's. How do you really know?
Right. So. All right.
But you, of course, as the listener, do know, maybe.
As is tradition, let's make a prediction.
All right.
So I feel like we should say, who do you think's going to win the election,
Okay.
and what is going to be the margin of victory in terms of electoral votes? Or you can predict an electoral tie, which is possible.
Right. Which is kind of dumb. But,
I wouldn't recommend that, though.
I don't think that's going to happen. I'll go first.
Go ahead.
I think it's going to be a moderately large victory for Biden.
And when you say moderately large, you're talking what?
In terms of electoral votes. I mean, like...
50 electoral votes? 70? 100? 20?
Let's see. Definitely in the range of like 50 to 75. I think that's what I'm thinking of when I think moderate. It's not going to be like, he's not going to barely win by like 10. He's
right.
not going to like just get all the electoral votes. I think it's going to be kind of close, but not really like close.
Right. It's going to be close in that if a few states had flipped, Trump would have won.
Yeah.
And those states will have been close. But the final numbers don't end up being that close. All right.
Yeah.
So put your just I know you're kind of ballparking here, but just for the sake of posterity, throw out a number. What's the margin of victory?
Oh man, can I let me
All right, well, you pull up an electoral map.
Yeah.
I will say my prediction, which I'm kind of tempted to predict Trump will win, just for the adversarial nature of our picking different things.
Right.
But I think I'm gonna pick Biden by a small margin. Biden will win by 17 electoral votes. No, that's too small. No, that's not. 17 electoral votes. Something like 277 to 260 or something small like that. So I don't know exactly how they shake out, but that's my prediction.
That would be quite close. I think it will be a 66 electoral vote margin. I don't know what the numbers should be to make that add up.
Fair enough.
What are there, 538? Isn't that why the thing is called that?
Yep, there's 538.
So, yikes. That is some mental math. 538 over 2.
You need 270 to win. So
270, 269, 269 is the tie, right?
That's the possible tie, yeah.
So 269 plus 33 is 302.
Good job.
And 269 minus 33 is 236. So I'm thinking 302 to 236.
All right. There you have it, folks. Send us an email telling us how dumb we are.
Yep.
Because Trump won.
Because Trump won. Yep.
All right. Cool. So let's move on to sports. I believe since we last talked, the World Series reached its conclusion, and the Los Angeles Dodgers won the World Series.
Congratulations to Los Angeles. I know it's been a long time since their last sports championship.
It's been so many months since their last championship. But one thing I do want to say is that although the Dodgers have been good for several years now, very good, probably the best team in the National League, they haven't won the World Series up until this year in terms of this current team, not like ever.
Right.
So I do think it's good that they did finally win one. It's kind of frustrating to keep getting there and losing. And that being said, I hope they are terrible next year, even though I know they won't be. And the Eagles won against the Cowboys yesterday. It was similar to the Purdue game, actually, in that the other team was down multiple quarterbacks, and and it was a close game when it should not have been. And as I just alluded to, Purdue also won, beating out Illinois,
Yep.
who was on their fourth string quarterback. So
2-0 for the first time since I don't even really know when.
2007, I want to say. I think they said it on the broadcast. I'm just trying to remember. So I think it's like 2007. So
that's incredible. Congratulations, Purdue.
Also, in addition to tomorrow being election day, it's also the day that Wisconsin will announce whether they're going to be able to play Purdue on Saturday. So
yeah,
that's much more important, I would say.
Here's the thing: if Wisconsin, so I'm pretty sure that if Wisconsin plays Purdue, okay. Here's the thing: if Wisconsin plays Purdue, they're not going to have all of the players that had coronavirus.
Yes.
Because you need to be, I think the protocol is you have to be out for 3 weeks if you test positive. So it's going to be a depleted Wisconsin team.
Right. And you also have to keep in mind that they have 22 cases there. So it's not they didn't say they couldn't play the last game because they had too many people with COVID. It's because they had too many people that had COVID and people who came into contact with those people who they thought might have COVID that were out because they, as a precaution that they couldn't field a full team. So in addition to all those people with COVID, there will be a number of players out because of contact tracing. Right? So
yeah, that's a good point. So
that's
they're really gonna
if they're able to play, it'll be with. If they're able to play, it will be with a kind of the skeleton of a team. I'm thinking.
Yeah, basically just the bare minimum that they could have.
Right, now keep in mind that skeleton of a team is a good team to begin with.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
So who knows what will happen, but Purdue will have a shot, I think is what you're getting at.
Yes, I think this year, as opposed to maybe some other years, I feel like Purdue can be competitive with better teams.
Right.
So, especially if they all have coronavirus and can't play, I think it's not a game that you can just immediately assume will be a loss. However, I think it would be better if they didn't play Wisconsin and continued their win streak for sure against, I forget who they play next, but it was I don't know. I guess we better look it up before I just go ahead and assume that they would win that game. I was looking at this earlier, though, and I was pretty sure they were going to win. Northwestern at home. And I think Northwestern might be kind of good this season.
Yeah,
but they did just barely beat Iowa.
And
we just barely beat Iowa.
So we can at least probably be competitive.
Yeah, it'd be a game. And it's at home, so that's good.
Yeah, I mean, it's good, except that there's not actually Wisconsin, any fans there.
It'll be at Wisconsin. Yeah, maybe it doesn't matter that much. So, let's go ahead. Let's make 2 bets here.
2 bets or predictions?
Let's start with predictions, then see how we feel.
See how we feel, okay.
We can wait for them to be done and then change them into bets if our predictions were correct.
Right.
So first of all, will Purdue play Wisconsin this week? Yes or no?
I gotta say no. What do you think?
Okay. I also say no, because I think even if Wisconsin is borderline, if they have the option to not play, they won't, because it's risky, right?
Right.
They can win all their games but have fewer games, and I think that looks better than they lost to Purdue.
Right.
And number 2, let's just assume that Wisconsin doesn't play at that point. Will Purdue manage to get to 3-0 against Northwestern the next week?
I hate to say it, but I think no. I think Northwestern wins it.
All right, I am definitely going to be optimistic here and say yes, especially because they're, I think, our toughest game until Indiana, which is the grossest thing I've ever had to say. But after Northwestern, we've got Minnesota, who I think is very bad. Rutgers, who isn't really that bad, but it's still Rutgers.
By the way, Michigan State just beat Michigan last week.
Oh, yeah.
Who had lost to Rutgers the week before, and we were kind of like, I don't know how good they are. Well, they just beat a ranked team.
Yeah. So, is Michigan ranked anymore, though?
I doubt it. I haven't actually looked.
They don't tell me on this. Okay, they're ranked 23 right now.
Okay, so...
Which they probably don't deserve to be after losing to Michigan State,
that lost to
Rutgers.
But Rutgers may be actually somewhat good this year, so I wouldn't necessarily, count them out.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm overly optimistic, but I do like our chances to be a 1 or 2 loss team at the end of the season here.
Right, it's certainly a possibility. So, given that information, why don't we put $1 on it? Purdue, if Purdue beats Northwestern, I'll give you $1.
Okay.
And if Northwestern beats Purdue, you give me $1.
Deal.
All right, let's virtually shake on it. All right, it's a deal. Witnessed here and recorded by our listener. All right, that probably should do it for sports, I'm thinking. Actually, another thing to mention is we were kind of tracking this from the beginning of the season, but the Patriots are 2-5, and the Buccaneers have like 1 or maybe 2 losses and are looking like the best team in the conference right now. So looks good for Brady versus Belichick in terms of who was more important. So
it does look like the Buccaneers are playing right now, and they're losing to the Giants, which wouldn't be good. But it is just the first quarter. It's 7-3.
Okay.
So
yeah, I'm hoping the Giants
to worry
lose.
About. Okay, that might be for real the end of sports.
That's the end of sports.
I don't know of any other sports.
And we talked about the election, so did we get any emails this week?
I don't know.
All right. While you check,
yes.
I guess I don't really... Okay, good.
We did.
Good thing you did that quickly.
It's not an interesting email, though. It's just a update to that app that we were going to test. Except we don't have any more information about it yet, so we're still not going to do it. I will note that after the podcast, I finally did get my phone to load the app up correctly.
Uh-huh.
And when I clicked on it to test, I obviously had downloaded the most recent version, right?
Right.
And it told me that my app was out of date and I needed to update. So
nice.
I don't know if that's all the app does right now. If so, 4 stars. It did that really well. But
10 out of 10. Man,
obviously knocking off that 1 star for not spelling it Polisee. But
I really want to... Man, I really just want I just really just want something to tell me it needs to be updated. Like, everything I have is always updating automatically. Like, why can't things just tell me they need to be updated anymore? Well, here is the app for you if that's what you were thinking.
It's an app that literally just tells you to update it.
Right. All right. Cool. So let's move on to the episode, which our listeners will be alarmed to know that I actually put some effort into making this week, which is out of the ordinary. But I was listening to our 2 previous Kids Bop quiz episodes, and I thought they were pretty fun. And I thought, why don't we do another one? Because one of the reasons that I had initially not thought about doing another one was because, if one of us starts looking up lyrics, then that person will never be able to, actually be the contestant rather than the quiz maker.
Right, yeah.
But then I realized that Kids Bop is neatly organized into albums. So I can just get all of mine from all of the ones you'll hear today are from Kids Bop's 18 through 21, I believe.
Okay.
And so then in the future, if we wanted to switch, you could just make sure you got yours from other songs.
I feel like there's like 40 Kids Bop albums, so we could probably do this for a while.
Right. So, cool. So we're going to do Kids Bop Quiz 3 today. I have 12 lyric changes, and I apologize if they're worse than our friends over at Jack's Films. Or they might be harder, who knows. So
I'm going to call it right now. I'm going 12 for 12 this game.
Okay, you may not want to predict that. That's some of these. There's at least one where I think it will be extremely difficult. Let me just say that.
Well, I've done this literally one time before, so you could consider me an expert on it now.
All right, so
I might revise that. I'm going to revise that just so, you know. Obviously, I'm still pretty sure I'm going to get 12 out of 12.
Right.
But my serious guess is that I'm going to get 10 out of 12.
All right. Well, good luck with that.
Which is still far better than anyone has ever done before, but
right.
If
you do get that, we will note that that is entirely credit to you and is no way reflection of my, lyric making up skills. All right, here we go. We begin with the song "Fuck You" by CeeLo Green, which Kids Bop has tastefully changed the name to "Forget You." And so here's the lyric. Oh, I've got some news for you. I really hate your ass right now. So that's the lyric, and the first line was left the same. I've really got some news for you. So we're just looking at what did they change? I really hate your ass right now to. So first, A, I really hate your guts right now. B, I really can't stand you right now. C, I really hate your face right now. Or D, I really want to yell right now.
And I really hate your face right now is a hilarious line, but I don't think it's very Kids Bop. So I'm going to start by ruling that one out. Okay.
By the way, as you're doing this, I want to give credit to Jack's Films for being able to throw a Kids Bop lyric option into every single lyric change, because I really was not able to do it. I only was able to put the option into some of these. And obviously, I'm not going to reveal how many actually had it until the end.
Right.
But, so it was good. I think they did a good job with that for making most of those at least viable options. Anyway, so you've just eliminated, I really hate your face right now. So that's C. So we've got A, B, and D left.
A, B, and D left. Oh, let's see. The second one I eliminate is I really hate your guts right now. I think that's just a really harsh phrase to go in a Kids Bop song, you know?
Sure.
That's pretty mean. That's
right.
Pretty negative. So that brings it down to I really can't stand you right now, which I think is good. Also a bit harsh, maybe. Or I really want to yell right now, which is great. And I'm very tempted to pick it.
I sense a butt coming.
Yeah, I mean, so the thing is, if you remember the first time I did this, I was really good at getting it down to two options.
Right.
And then picking the wrong option.
Right. I do remember that.
And by the time I adjusted to reflect that strategy, I was getting good at picking the correct option and then eliminating it for my second option.
Right.
So now I don't know which way to go. So I'll tell you right now that my first choice is I really want to yell right now, and my second choice is I really can't stand you right now.
Sure.
But I'm just not sure which one to pick.
You should just flip a coin.
It's times like these when we need the decision coin. However, it's not within arm's reach, so...
Oh, I probably left it there, didn't I?
You did leave it here. I was considering telling you to Venmo me 25 cents less than Joel, because you already left the decision coin, but I thought instead that I would just keep the decision coin for next time we needed to make decisions.
Sure.
And then,
All right,
suppose...
well, you got to make a choice here.
All right,
So
I'm gonna...
I really can't stand you right now, or I really want to yell right now.
I'm gonna trust myself to start, and I don't know if that's the right call, but I'm gonna go with I really want to yell right now.
All right, and the correct answer is B. I really can't stand you right now.
That is devastating.
Oh man, I am sitting here shaking, listening to you deliberate between the correct answer and this other answer, and you're like, "Oh, I don't know if I should, trust." Okay, so yeah, the listeners all heard it. So all right, 0 for 1. That's rough. You already missed your 12 for 12 goal.
Well, that's all right,
but that's fine. You can still hit your 10 for 12 goal.
Yep.
Only you can still get one more wrong. So let's move on to number 2. This is from Till the World Ends by Britney Spears. Original lyrics are, if you want that good-ish, sicker than the remix, baby let me blow your mind tonight. So, we're looking at all those lyrics to be changed. Or maybe not. So, here's option A. If you want this good dish, sicker than the remix, baby come on wave your hands tonight. Option B, if you want this good stuff, stay right here with Kids Bop, baby let me blow your mind tonight. Option C, if you want this good thing, keep your engine running, baby go on show it off tonight. D, if you want this good fix, sicker than the remix, baby come on party on tonight. Or E, no change.
Okay, this is one where I'm not gonna rule out no change, because I mean, obviously the line here that you would consider changing if your Kids Bop is let me blow your mind tonight, which can definitely be construed in an adult manner.
Right.
But for if you're a kid listening to a Kid Bop,
so before you go any further, I think I should tell you that this is I'm by no means an expert on this, but I believe if you want that good ish is a drug reference as well. I think. So
really?
obviously, I'm guessing most kids won't know what that means, so maybe they just left it, but it's certainly something to consider.
Okay.
I can just Google it right now.
Sure. Okay.
The canonical use of ish is a suffix meaning... Nope, that's...
Alright, while you look that up, I'm going to keep thinking about this then. Let's assume that you're correct, and they would definitely change that. Because I think even if the kids don't know, I think the parents might, and the parents could get mad.
Here is the actual thing that I was thinking of, which is not correct. What I said originally wasn't correct. Ish. This is from Urban Dictionary. Slang term used often to replace shit, derived from the process of editing the vocals of rap songs by reversing the curse words, so said songs could be played on radio or television. So that's what this really is referring to. So maybe it is okay.
Maybe it is, because that's the thing you do to put it on TV, and kids watch TV, so.
Right. All right. So we need to start eliminating some here. So
yeah, we're gonna look at the answers. We're gonna not try and logic it too hard. We're just gonna think, what's a good line, what's a bad line. First of all, if you want this good thing, keep your engine running. Baby, go on, show it off tonight. I don't think that's it.
I feel like you were about to say, that's a garbage lyric, and then you stopped because you thought it would hurt my feelings. Don't worry about that. That is a garbage lyric.
It's not like terrible, Like, it's weird. It's definitely like, unless the rest of the song mentioned an engine at all, I think it'd just be strange to, that's not really a euphemism or anything like that. So,
right. All right.
I don't know. Anyway, if you want this good stuff, stay right here with Kids Bop. Baby, let me blow your mind tonight. That one's the garbage lyric, because they didn't change the blow your mind part, and the other good stuff, stay right here with Kids Bop. That's... but it's bad, but it's like Kids Bop bad, you know? So
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh no. So I've only eliminated one still. If you want this good fix, Sicker Than the Remix, Baby Come On Party On Tonight. I like the Party On Tonight, but I don't like the rest of it, so I'm going to throw that one out just because I've got to do something here.
Sure.
If you want this good dish, Sicker Than the Remix, Baby Come On Wave Your Hands Tonight. Pretty good, but not great. But if I get rid of that one, I'm stuck between Kids Bop and No Change.
Well, you also... Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Uh...
So you have 3 choices left.
Yeah.
This one you're considering.
Right. So, if you want this good stuff, stay right here with Kids Bop. Baby, let me blow your mind tonight. It can't be that. It just can't. There's no way.
All right.
Unless it is.
Unless it is.
And I don't think A is right, so I guess I kind of ended up with No Change. Except for the one that I eliminated because it's bad, but Kids Bop bad. But
right,
once
so
again...
Are you still considering all 3 options? It sounds like what you're saying.
I'm gonna final answer, No Change.
The correct answer is A, if you want this good dish sicker than the remix, Baby Come On Wave Your Hands Tonight. I'm surprised. I don't know. I thought you would go for D. I thought that was pretty good because, I don't know, Blow Your Mind is not like inherently sexual. It really does have an alternate meaning that works. Yeah. So, but good job sniffing it out, I guess, for it not being correct.
I'm really good at finding the not correct ones. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, so...
All right, now I'm about to get 10 straight. Correct. This is going to be great. Here we go.
All right, so this is from the same song, Till the World Ends, Britney Spears.
Ooh, about that.
Original lyrics are, you notice what I'm wearing, I notice when you're staring. Here are the possible changes. You notice what I'm wearing, I notice that you're dancing. You notice how I'm singing, I notice what you're thinking. Sorry, I read the first lyric wrong. You notice what I'm wearing, I'm noticing you're dancing, rather than I notice that you're dancing. But that may not matter to you, or it may, but that's what it actually is. You notice how I'm singing, I notice that what you're thinking. You notice how I'm dancing, I notice how you're prancing. You notice how I'm moving, I notice that I'm noticing you're grooving, same mistake. Or E, no change.
Okay. First off, no change. You notice what I'm wearing. I notice when you're staring. That's a creepy thing to sing about a kid. So that's out.
Fair enough.
Likewise, you notice what I'm wearing. I'm noticing you're dancing. Still a bit weird. Like, it's definitely better. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that's it either. You notice how I'm singing. I notice what you're thinking. Doesn't make very much sense, but very on brand for Kids Bop.
Classic Kids Bop. It's a classic Kids Bop line.
That's a classic Kids Bop line. Because it's just singing, which is Kids Bop, and then thinking, which is a word that kind of rhymes with singing, I guess, and doesn't make sense for you to notice how someone's thinking.
Right.
So, 100% Kids Bop line right there. I'm leaving that one in. You notice how I'm dancing. I notice how you're prancing. No.
It is not a good lyric.
Whether
I wrote it or not, I won't say, but it is bad.
It's certainly bad.
That's all I'll say.
You notice how I'm moving. I'm noticing you grooving. That's pretty good. Like, that could be in a real song.
Right.
The I'm noticing versus I notice is like a weird change, I guess, but I mean, I could see it, I guess.
Alright, so it sounds like you're between B and D. Is that
correct?
Accurate? Alright.
Yes. And last time I was between B and D, I picked D and it was B. So this time, I already said it was the most on brand for Kids Bop, so I'm going with B. You notice how I'm singing, I notice what you're thinking.
That is a good guess, but the correct answer is D. You notice how I'm moving, I'm noticing you grooving. This is honestly impressive, is what I would say at this point. It's honestly, it's like, flipping tails a bunch of times in a row versus heads. So if you do this on every single one, I think that would be considered a win rather than a loss. But all right, 0 for 3. Let's move on to number 4.
Hopes and dreams have been shattered, but we're playing on.
Let's see if you can at least beat your score from the last time that you did this, which was 1.
Okay, I've got 8 more, right? Or 9? No, 9 more. I can go 1 for 9 at least.
1 for 9. That's the goal. Here we go. Number 4, Written in the Stars by Time Tempa. Here's the lyric. That's why they play my song on so many different dials, 'cause I got more fucking hits than a disciplined child. Which is that's a pretty good lyric, by the way. Obviously they couldn't keep it.
That is a good lyric. I definitely have heard this song, and I don't think it's like seeing it written. I'm more impressed with this lyric than I've ever been when I heard it. I don't think it ever clicked.
Yeah, that's the thing about it. Like in raps, I think this is in a rap. Like this, it kind of just most of the lyrics just kind of go by, and you don't really like understand them all unless you listen to it multiple times. So yeah, all right. So here are the options. There's only 4 because I didn't even bother with no change this time. A. 'Cause I got more hits and I got more style. By the way, the first line is the same. We're only changing the second line. So, 'cause I got more hits and I got more style. B. 'Cause I got more groovy hits and more groovy style. C. 'Cause I got more hits than a Kids Bop album. Or D. 'Cause I got more crazy hits and I go the extra mile.
All right, I'm gonna be pretty upset, I think, if I get this one wrong.
Okay.
Because I feel definitely more strongly about this one. I'm not gonna narrow it down to 2. I'm gonna narrow it down to 1.
Right off the bat.
And if it's not that one, I'm gonna be grumpy. So let's just go through these. First of all, 'cause I got more crazy hits and I go the extra mile. Not it.
All right.
There's not much to say about that. 'Cause I got more hits than a Kids Bop album that just destroys the flow of that lyric.
Right.
I don't. That's
So
pretty
we're down
gross.
to 2 similar answers then.
Yeah, and one of them has groovy in it twice, which is like what Kids Bop would do. But I just don't like it. And therefore the answer is A, because I got more hits and I got more style.
All right, well, you narrowed it down to 1, and the correct answer is A, because I got more hits and I got more style. Nicely done.
There we go.
I'm
I should just narrow it down to 1 more often.
The thing is, if I were reading this one, I would say I would have eliminated A right off the bat because it had so much fewer syllables than the original line. It's like 3 fewer syllables than the original line.
Yeah.
So I'm
Is that
surprised.
why you put groovy in twice? I think you would probably would have got me with the second one if it wasn't groovy both times.
Well, you said that's something that Kids Bop would do. So I don't know why you eliminated that. You just kind of went on instinct, which worked.
Right.
But I don't think that putting groovy in twice was necessarily the wrong call. The wrong call was really you can see that when I got to D, I just ran out of ideas. It was just kind of bad, so I got more crazy hits and it wasn't actually a bad lyric, just not great. But
no, it wasn't bad. It was just
good job sniffing it out. So you've got 1. So you've tied your previous record.
Yep.
So let's see if you can beat it.
Time to absolutely destroy it. Here we go.
Number 5, Tonight Tonight by Hot Chili Ray. I don't know if that's how that's pronounced, but I'm guessing you've heard this song. Here's the original lyric. And my girlfriend went and cheated on me. She's a California dime, but it's time for me to quit her. So here are the possible changes. And my girlfriend went and broke up with me. She's a super pretty girl, but it's time for me to quit her. And my girlfriend last night had a bad dream. She's a California dime, so it's time for me to love her. And my friend went and smiled at me. She's a friendly type of girl, so it's time for me to smile back. Or, and my girlfriend went and yelled at me. She's a pretty mean girl, so it's time for me to quit her. Or E, no change.
Okay, let's see. This isn't a terrible line. And I think Kids Bop has been known to write pretty bad lines about women in the past. So sure. I can't really rule anything out based on that, which is unfortunate. Because that would have been my only tool here, I think. Actually, it's not my only tool. I have one other tool, which is, and my friend went and smiled at me. She's a friendly type of girl, so it's time for me to smile back, is 100% not the answer.
Very well.
It may be the best option here, but it's not the answer. Okay, and my girlfriend went and broke up with me. She's a super pretty girl, but it's time for me to quit her. I guess if she broke up with you, it would be time to quit her, yeah. You have to, because she, broke up with you.
Right.
So, from like a making sense standpoint, probably not. From a lyrical standpoint, though, I think it's likely. Okay. And my girlfriend last night had a bad dream. She's a California dime, so it's time for me to love her.
See, this one just changes the entire meaning of the lines.
Yeah. Huh. I'm torn between, there's no reason to just do all that, and it's very Kids Bop to do all that for no reason. But I'm gonna throw it out, I think. Instinct worked last time. Instinct hopefully is gonna work again.
Right.
So
good plan.
We're down to A, D, and E. And D, I think, is the one I would get rid of if I thought that Kids Bop was into healthy relationships and stuff. But, whatever. She went and yelled at me. She's a pretty mean girl, so it's time for me to quit her. I don't think so. I'm going to have faith. I don't think that's what Kids Bop wrote. We're down to A.
So A or E.
Or E. Girlfriend cheating and being a California dime. Or girlfriend broke up and she's super pretty. And super pretty, I guess, is like I don't know if kids would understand California dime.
Right. Like the thing, yeah, so the thing about A is it's basically the same line, just kind of changed to be kid-friendly, which is exactly what Kids Bop is, but the question is, was it even necessary?
Right. It's like that just makes it make sense without having to think about what the words mean.
Right.
And I think I'm sold. I think I'm going to go for that. I'm going for A.
All right. Your answer was A, and the correct answer is E, no change. So, once again, down to 2. You should have gone with your previous strategy of eliminating it down to 1.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is if you can't get it down to just the right answer, it is much harder to pick the right answer.
Weird. So
I'm disappointed, obviously, but not too mad at that one. I think that that makes sense.
All right, so we remain at 1, and we move on to number 6. This is from the song Me Love by Sean Kingston. And it was super annoying to try and find the lyrics to it because Kids Bop changed the name of this song to Rhythm of Love. Because I guess they didn't like the grammatical incoherentness of Me Love.
Weird.
And
I also don't like it, but I wouldn't change the name of the song when I was covering it.
Right, and just to clarify, it's Me Love like my love, not Me Love as in I love. That probably won't affect your guess, but...
I'm going to analyze the grammatical constructs of these, which have obviously been changed from... Never mind, go ahead.
Alright, here we go. The original lyric is, "We used to kiss and caress and trust me, girl, it feels so sweet." So "girl, it feels so sweet" was left the same. So we're potentially changing "we used to kiss and caress and trust me." So the possibilities are, we used to listen to Kids Bop, trust me. We used to kiss and say hi and trust me. We used to hang out and talk and trust me. We used to hug and high five and trust me. Or no change.
Oh boy.
I think this is one of my better ones.
Yeah. How can I eliminate any of these answers? Let's see. So, okay, let's look at the original line first. Kiss and caress and trust me. Again, I think that's kind of a weird thing to sing about kids. So I guess I'll just eliminate it because I'm going to have to make progress somehow.
Sure. So E is eliminated.
We used to kiss and say hi and trust me. Maybe by the same logic is gone because kids kissing is kind of... I mean... I don't think they would censor that from a Kids Bop song, but it also is, we used to kiss and say hi and trust me. That's the weirdest list of 3 things.
Well, the trust me isn't something that they did. It's like saying, we used to kiss and say hi, and trust me, girl, it feels so sweet. That's how I kind of interpret the line.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. We used to kiss and say hi. And trust me, girl, it feels so sweet. Kissing and saying hi. Yeah. Okay. I'll still get rid of it.
It's still weird, though.
It's still weird, though, so...
Alright, so B and E gone, so we're left with A, C, and D.
Listen to Kids Bop, hang out and talk, hug and high five. Of these 3, I think I'm drawn most strongly to hang out and talk.
Any particular reason?
It just seems...
Just instinct.
If I'm gonna pick one, it's that one. The problem is I can't eliminate A. I think I would eliminate D, but I can't eliminate A, which is the Kids Bop one.
Right.
So unfortunately, I'm down to 2, which means I'll probably guess the wrong one. So okay, let's think here. We used to listen to Kids Bop. Trust me, girl, it feels so sweet. Or we used to hang out and talk, and trust me, girl, it feels so sweet. Those actually both sound wrong. But the other ones sound weird. So does it sound wrong or does it sound weird? Maybe I haven't eliminated anything. All right.
And we're back to the beginning.
Let's just
Hello,
start
everybody.
over.
I'm Alex. Oh.
All right. All right. I'm weirdly drawn to it. I'm going with my instinct. We used to hang out and talk. C.
All right. Well, you did narrow it down to the one of the two of the answers, and one of them was correct, and the correct answer was C. We used to hang out and talk. And trust me, your instincts are on point for this question.
Finally.
So you have finally broken your record of 1.
Incredible.
Now up to 2 out of the first 6, which
monumental.
means you're on pace for 4.
That's amazing, yeah. And on pace for 4, but likely 8, because I'm on a hot streak.
Right, on a hot, yeah, exactly right. So let's keep it going then. Let's not cool off the streak. We're going to the song "Just the Way You Are" by Bruno Mars, which I assume you've heard.
Yep.
Here are the original lyrics. Her lips, I could kiss them all day if she'd let me. Her laugh, she hates it. That's supposed to say it, but I think it's so sexy. So, kind of a long lyric change here, or not. But here are the options. She's cool. I could hug her all day if she'd let me. Her laugh, she hates it, but I think it's so silly. Her hands, I could high-five her all day if she'd let me. Her laugh, she hates it, but I think it's so corny. I know, I could watch her all day if she'd let me. Her laugh, she hates it, but I think it's so funny. Her cheek, I could kiss them. That's supposed to be them. All day if she'd let me. Her laugh, she hates it, but I think it's so nasty. Or E, no change.
Ooh. Alright, I think we can go ahead and eliminate no change right away, because if you could buy a CD with a bunch of children singing I think it's so sexy, then
you would be arrested.
Certainly someone should be arrested. Let's see. She's cool. I could hug her all day. What?
Nothing. You cut out for a second, but you're back.
Oh. She's cool. I could hug her all day if she'd let me. Her laugh. She hates it, but I think it's so silly. The first time I read this before we started the podcast, as I skimmed, I thought, that's bad. But then when you read it, I thought, that's bad. But then when I read it again just now, it seemed better.
But when I read it just now, I also thought, that's bad. So I'm eliminating it.
So I'm eliminating it. No, I think weirdly, it's growing on me, and I'm going to keep it in for now.
All right.
Her hands on the other point is, I think, the worst one left. Actually, maybe not the worst one left, because also her cheek is pretty bad, too.
They're both pretty weird.
So, that's, yeah. Also, her laugh, she hates it, but I think it's so nasty. That's pretty funny, but definitely not a Kidz Bop lyric. So, of course, we're down to 2.
So we're between A and C.
Between A and C. I know, I could watch her all day if she'd let me. Her laugh, she hates it, but I think it's so funny. I think that's the best second line. But the first line, watching her all day, I don't know, like I could easily see it being the line, but I also think that's a bit weird, you know?
It is a bit weird, and we had a line earlier where the lyric was changed because, I see how you're staring, right?
Yep.
That was changed for presumably a similar reason. But yeah, the thing is, for the second line, only the last word was changed, right, for all of these options. So I think it's so funny. You're saying you think that's better than I think it's so silly.
Yeah, you're right. I was going to make a very insightful comment that between the best line, which is which is C, which ends in funny, and the other option I have, which ends in silly, there's only one word changed, but yeah, you're right, that's actually true for all of them. So, I guess that's less insightful now.
Yeah, well,
however,
I have the insight because I wrote at least 3 of these, so...
Alright, here's the thing. Here's where we're at. We've either got I know I could watch her all day if she'd let me, which gets weirder the more I say it.
Right.
Or she's cool, I could hug her all day if she'd let me. And I don't know, like silly and funny, I don't know that I can really make a decision based on that. So I guess I just picked the one that's like a little bit strange, or I picked the one that's like watching someone all day. And so I think I'm maybe not just for the sake of getting it right, but now I'm hopeful that it's not that one. I really want it to be A, she's cool, I could hug her all day if she'd let me.
So that's your answer?
That's my answer.
All right, well, unfortunately for you, the correct answer is C.
No.
I know, I could watch her all day if she'd let me.
That's such an uncomfortable thing.
It is, and I think this is probably the first time that so far that I wrote, according to your eliminations at least, that I wrote a better line than Kidz Bop did. I think all the other times it was just worse, but maybe Kidz Bop would do that.
Yeah.
So, alright. Your hot streak ends, but we move on. Next song is DJ Got Us Falling in Love by Usher. Lyrics are, keep down and drink like there's no tomorrow. There's just right now. So, we're going to leave that second line, and we're only changing the first line if at all. So, here are the options for the change. Instead of keep on down and drinks like there's no tomorrow, could be keep on playing like there's no tomorrow, keep on drinking milk like there's no tomorrow, keep on singing songs like there's no tomorrow, keep on dancing round like there's no tomorrow, or no change.
Okay. I am very tempted to, without any further discussion, say that this one is C. Keep singing songs like there's no tomorrow. And the last time I went with instinct and just narrowed it down to one, that worked. So I think I'm going to do it. There you go. C is my final answer.
Alright, well, the correct answer is D. Keep dancing round like there's no tomorrow.
Oh, no, that one's just not good.
So unfortunately, your instincts failed you here, and I again wrote a better lyric than Kidz Bop. So suck it, Kidz Bop.
You wrote 2 because I think I would have eliminated D and B and E and deliberated between A and C. So.
See, as I read these answers, I was like, I must have forgotten to put games here because that's just a syllable short without that. But I guess it didn't matter to you. But regardless, that is another miss. So we head down to number 9. This is from the song "Club Can't Handle Me" by Flo Rida. Here are the lyrics. Look like cash and they all just stare. Bottles, models, standing on chairs. So, it could have been changed to, look so cool and they all just stare. Get up, stand up, dancing on chairs. Looks like cash and they all just stare. Standing on tables, standing on chairs. Look so slick and they all just stare. Drinking soda, dancing all day. Looks like Kidz Bop, they all just stare. Jump up, sit down, dancing on air. Or no change.
Okay, I think we can agree that with the original lyrics, egregious use of the word bottles, it's not no change.
I'm so... I mean, I can't tell if you're serious that that's the egregious word, but that's not to me the egregious word.
Would it be models?
I guess it would be. It would be models to me.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess
although bottles is still, I would definitely change it, but
yeah.
I would say models would be a bigger offender. But I get your logic here. You're eliminating no change.
Right. Yeah, I think just based on what I know of Kidz Bop, any reference to alcohol just needs to be eliminated. And references to women may or not be dealt with in a sensible manner. So
fair enough.
Let's see then. We've got look so cool and they all just stare. Get up, stand up, dancing on chairs. That's a pretty good line. Looks like cash and they all just stare. Standing on tables, standing on chairs. Actually also a quality line. I don't know how I would choose between those two. Look so slick and they all just stare. Drinking soda, dancing all day. Terrible. Thumbs down. Not C. If it is C, I'm quitting the podcast. Looks like Kidz Bop. They all just stare. jump up, sit down, dancing on air. I'm pretty tempted by this one actually because I haven't picked a Kids Bop lyric yet.
Right.
And they've got to have at least one, right? That's just,
well, you
it's
say
bound
they
to happen.
as if it's someone else who made this quiz. I made this quiz. I could have put none in.
You could have just deliberately had Kids Bop references to throw me off in as many as you could, but none of them were the correct answer. If I don't pick that one, though, I'm going to have to choose between Looks So Cool and They All Just Stare, Get Up, Stand Up, Dancing on Chairs, and Looks Like Cash and They All Just Stare, Standing on Tables, Standing on Chairs. Actually, you know what? Well, I guess the original lyric says Standing on Chairs, but I do like Dancing on Chairs better than just Standing on Tables, Standing on Chairs. If you really think about it, it's a bit weird. But it does sound good, so you know.
So the thing about B is they only changed the bottles models line, right? With A, they kind of changed Look So Cool, and they also changed pretty much the entire last line.
That's true, and the only problem with the lyric, really, in my opinion, is bottles models. Probably don't want those implications in your Kids Bop songs. So
well, you still also have
tables,
D down
on
there.
Chairs does make a lot of sense, but there is D, which is the Kids Bop answer. But yeah, when you say that, that's just, they literally changed Looks Like Cash, Bottles Models, and Standing on Chairs. And they only left They All Just Stare.
So I guess the question there is whether you think Looks Like Cash is really an issue.
I don't think so. I think that's kind of the cool Kids Boppy line that they can leave in from a pop song, you know?
Right.
You know, when you're a, I don't know, like 8 to 12-year-old child listening to music on the radio, you're just, you know, I feel like you would really identify with Looking Like Cash. That's a very...
I mean, yeah. Fair enough. I mean, I wouldn't, is all I was about to say, but... Well... I get what you're saying.
Those of us that did look like Cash, really...
Fair enough.
Oh, man. Let's see. Do I really believe that? I think I'm going to save my Kids Bop lines for a later lyric and hope that there's a quality one in there somewhere, because I'm going to pick... I think you sort of talked me into it, honestly. I'm going to pick B. Looks Like Cash and They All Just Stare. Standing on tables, standing on chairs.
Yeah, and I feel bad because I really only meant to just point out a fact about it, but I really did end up talking you into it. The correct answer is A. Looks So Cool and They All Just Dare, Get Up, Stand Up, Dancing on Chairs.
Wow.
It's a fine line because in another, like, it went in the previous times I could kind of talk about the lyrics with you.
Yeah.
Because I didn't write any of them.
Right.
And comment on how bad or good they are, but now I feel a little bit bad about that one, so we'll chalk that up to a loss to me there for deliberately talking you into the wrong line, and I'll try to be more neutral for the rest.
All right.
Here is number 10 from the same song, Club Can't Handle Me by Flo Rida. Original lyrics are, celebrate because that's all I know, tip the groupies taking off their clothes. So, possible changes. We're leaving the first line, by the way. Celebrate because that's all I know. So we're just changing the second line. So, could be, instead of tip the groupies taking off their clothes, could be keep on dancing and I'll party on. Could be tip the waiter, so come on, let's go. Could be sip my soda and take off my hat. Could be won't stop singing like a Kids Bop kid. Or could be no change.
Alright, I think once again we can eliminate no change, because taking off clothes is a sin for Kids Bop, so...
Unless it's Livin' La Vida Loca, then it's fine.
Did they really leave that in?
Yeah, that was in the second one. I got this wrong because I was like, it can't be, they can't leave, she'll make you take your clothes off and go dancing in the rain. And it turns out they did leave that.
They did leave that. Incredible.
So,
all right,
I'm not trying to convince you, I'm just trying to give you all the facts.
That's true. I'm not convinced by that though. I think the fact that this is not this isn't, like taking off your clothes and dancing in the rain. That's weird, but that's like, your choice. This is like
Sure.
paying someone who is taking off their clothes.
That's fair.
So that is not very Kids Bop friendly. So, where does that leave us? We've got Keep On Dancing and I'll Party On, which is kind of clumsy, but I think honestly all of these are. Okay. What the answer should be,
right,
is Tip the Waiter, so come on, let's go, because it rhymes.
Right.
But that's not the answer, because why the heck would you sing Tip the Waiter? That's so dumb. So obviously Kids Bop made this line not rhyme. And I think the only excuse they can have for just blatantly disregarding the rhyming of the song is to insert their own name into the song. So, Celebrate because that's all I know. Won't stop singing like a Kids Bop kid. Oh, that's so bad. That's so bad.
You were just like running right up to picking that, and then you read it, and you were like, nope.
Celebrate because that's all I know. Keep on dancing and I'll party on. Or celebrate because that's all I know. Sip my soda and take off my hat. That can't be it. Okay. It is A or D. I'm not certain that it's not B, but I really don't think it is. So I'm pretty sure it's A or D. And it's bad, but I think it's D. I think this is the Kids Bop one.
The correct answer is B, Tip the Waiter, so come on, let's go. I literally spent like 10 minutes when I was coming up with lyrics for this question trying to think of anything else you could tip that I could put in a lyric to make it seem like, could be Tip the Waiter, could be Tip the other thing, because all these lyrics are bad, in my opinion, like you pointed out, pretty much, except for Tip the Waiter, so come on, let's go. But I guess the fact that none of them were good tricked you, so... Alright.
Apparently so.
So in order to get that 4 out of 12 that we predicted halfway through, you'll need to get these last two. So put your intuition hat on, and here we go. Number 11 is from Moves Like Jagger by Maroon 5. He's putting on his hat, by the way. These are the original lyrics.
This isn't the intuition hat. Hold on a minute.
What hat was that, just out of curiosity?
That was a Purdue hat.
Oh, so I thought you were going to make up I know it was a Purdue hat. I thought you were going to make up another, metaphorical, that was my thinking hat. I need my intuition hat, but it turns out it's just a Purdue hat.
Let me get the intuition hat real quick.
All right, well, I'll start reading these lyrics, since you can just read them when you come back. So, this is Moves Like Jagger, Maroon 5. The original lyric is, you wanted control, so we waited. I put on a show, now we're naked. So, here's the possible changes. You wanted control, so we waited. I put on my clothes, now we're fading. You wanted some fun, so we're dancing. We're Kids Bop kids, so we're singing. You wanted control, so we're talking. I put on a show, now we're walking. You wanted to know, so we waited. I put on a show, now we're jaded. Or no change.
Alright, intuition hat says that this cannot possibly be no change.
Fair enough.
Intuition hat also tells me that it's not the Kids Bop one. Maybe that's me telling me that it's not the Kids Bop one. I don't know, intuition hat. Do a better job telling me.
It's like
let's
a Dora
see.
the Explorer segment. What does the intuition hat say? Is it no change? No. Okay.
Alright, let's see. You wanted control, so we waited. I put on my clothes, now we're fading. No, that can't be it. Thanks, intuition hat.
Alright, A and E gone.
A and E are gone. You wanted some fun, so we're dancing. We're Kids Bop kids, so we're singing. I got burned by Kids Bop last time. I think Intuition Hat was right.
All right, A, B, and E gone, so just C and D left.
You wanted control, so we're talking. I put on a show, now we're walking. So they left the control and the show, and they just changed what the words were to, talking and walking to rhyme. Or you wanted to know, so we waited. I put on a show, now we're jaded. Of those two, I think D is the better lyric.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it might be C.
So, not trying to convince you of either one, my take on this is that kind of what you said. D is a better lyric because they changed control to know, and that still rhymes.
Yeah.
And they just changed naked, now we're naked to now we're jaded. The only question is, would Kids Bop write jaded in a song? Like, do kids know what that means? So, yeah, I agree D's a better lyric, so... All right,
it's weird.
Now that I've thrown in my completely neutral analysis...
I mean, yeah, so yeah, jaded does just kind of come in out of nowhere. And it's not like a... I don't know. It's not a very Kids Boppy word.
Right.
It's not one. I don't think that's one that they would just like throw in there out of nowhere.
Sure.
Even though it's a better lyric, which is kind of why I thought it was C. You wanted control, so we're talking. I put on a show, now we're walking. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but does preserve quite a bit of the original lyrics. And it's just some different words that rhyme. And it's very neutral. Talking and walking. Instead of waiting and then getting naked. Very different vibes there. Alright. Intuition Hat, I'm gonna close my eyes and point at the screen. And
worked for David, basically.
That's true. Here we go, Intuition Hat. We're picking that one. I pointed at question 10. Let me try again. Alright, Intuition Hat. That one. That's C. That's C. We pointed at C.
The correct answer is D. You wanted to know, so we waited. I put on a show, now we're jaded. I guess I should just shut the fuck up.
The problem is, so the first time I think you did kind of talk me into it. That one I don't blame you for as much because you kind of like affirmed my belief.
Right.
So I guess maybe that's just as destructive in this case. But...
I guess basically what I'm trying to do when I chime in, which I do think I did the previous time, and I did this time as well, is I'm trying to say, if I were answering this question, what things am I looking at, right? Because really, what this comes down to is, would Kids Bop put jaded in a song? And I agree with you, I don't think they would. I think if I were guessing, I also would have not picked it. But I guess by saying that, I kind of steered you away from it, but...
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's interesting because in both cases, I think you pointed out something that I hadn't really considered yet.
That's what I feel bad about. It's like, you probably would have guessed it for in my opinion, the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
But I still steered you away from it, so it's like...
Yeah.
All right, I won't say anything on this last one other than the actual lyrics, and the potential lyrics. And this one does have a Kids Bop lyric, so you may want to consider that. All right, here we go. I already said something. All right, Just a Dream by Nelly. When I be riding, man, I swear I see her face at every turn, trying to get my Usher on, but I can't let it burn. Here are the possible changes. When I be dancing, man, I swear I see her face at every turn, singing with the Kids Bop kids, but I can't let it burn. When I be singing, man, I swear I see her face at every turn, trying to be a Kidz Bop kid, but I can't seem to learn. When I be rolling, man, I swear I see her face at every turn, trying to get my Usher on, but I can't let it burn. When I be riding, man, I swear I see her face at every turn, trying to sing a happy song, but I can't do a verse. Or, no change.
Okay, so do I think that When I Be Ridin', Man is worth changing? I think, based on the way you read this, that it's kind of sung like, when I be riding, man, I see your face at every turn.
Here's the,
Go ahead. When I read it to myself, maybe this is related to what you were about to say. When I read it to myself, I interpreted it as the much worse lyric of, when I be riding, man, I swear I see her face at every turn.
So I actually interpreted it as the former, where it's not meant to be a euphemism for sex.
Right.
Well, at least the man isn't. The thing is, the way I read it, this is obviously just my interpretation. When I be riding, man, is her saying when I'm riding, which I can't really figure out what they mean. Like, maybe riding in a car, they could mean.
Yeah.
But certainly,
I mean, there's plenty of interpretations that aren't.
But the man, I interpreted that as like just someone saying like, "Hey, man," or not like actually the object of riding. So,
right.
But I was gonna say, because at first I thought you were talking about the rhythm of the song. I was gonna clarify where the rhythm is, which is the way it's actually said in the song is riding is the downbeat. So it's like, when I be riding, man, I swear I see her face at every turn, trying to get my Usher on, but I can't let it burn. That's how the rhythm goes, and I think I did a good job matching it in all the options.
I was gonna say, so I don't think
that'll
different
help
in any other choice. When I be dancing, man, I swear I see her face at every turn, singing with the Kidz Bop kids, but I can't let it burn. It's pretty good. Intuition Hat likes that one. When I be singing, man, I swear I see her face at every turn, trying to be a Kidz Bop kid, but I can't seem to learn. I like this one less than the other Kidz Bop lyric, because this one kind of implies that they're not already Kidz Bop kids.
Right.
Which I don't think they do that.
I mean, the first one also implies that, because they're singing with the Kidz Bop kids.
Okay, I mean, yeah, okay, I can see that, I guess. Okay.
I'm doing a terrible job of not talking during this question.
It's probably kind of boring to just sit there and listen to me analyze without commenting.
Because I already know what the correct answer is, and I wrote all of the lyrics that are not the correct answer. So
yeah.
But so I it's really impossible not to chime in. I'm trying not to sway your opinion. All right, here we go. What do you think about C and D?
Okay, C. When I be rolling, man, I swear I see her face. Huh?
And E. I said C and D. I meant C, D, and E.
That's true, because I haven't yet eliminated E. When I be rolling, man, I swear I see her face at every turn, trying to get my Usher on, but I can't let it burn. It's not a bad line, but there's no way that they just changed right into rollin' and left everything else the same. The other thing I think about this one is that they probably didn't leave Usher in this. Which I guess makes me think that it's also not E.
Makes sense.
I think it's totally reasonable for them to have left Usher in. I just Intuition Hat is telling me they didn't. And Intuition Hat has never let me down.
Except for the one time that it helped you answer a question.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so where does that leave us? We've got A and D, I think, are the... Oh, actually, no. I didn't look at D yet, and I don't like D, because trying to sing a happy song but I can't do a verse is just the worst version of let it burn, or seem to learn, or do a verse. Do a verse is just easily the worst of those.
Fair enough.
Let it burn, I think, is totally fine, and also most of the other choices that I would consider are just also let it burn, so I'm not going to judge anything based on that. Oh, so what am I seriously considering?
So it sounds like if this is me trying to summarize your analysis.
Yeah.
You picked A over B,
yep.
right? And you said it's not C because you don't think they left Usher in.
Yep.
And you said it's not D because you don't like I Can't Do a Verse.
Yep.
And you said it's not E because they also, same reason that you don't think they left Usher in.
Yeah.
Is that accurate?
That's pretty accurate.
So by that logic, you would be picking A.
I suppose so. That does seem like that, doesn't it?
It does seem like that.
The fact that you summed that up for me makes me think that...
Again, I'm just trying to clarify your thoughts. I'm not trying to change your mind.
The first thing it makes me think is you're saying what I'm... Because I think you said... Everything you said that I said I think was accurate. But at the same time, I could definitely see you reminding me of all the things I said because you know that I'm already leaning toward the right answer and want to make sure that I go for it on this last one to balance out the two that I may or may not have picked correctly, but you definitely swayed my thinking.
Do you want a hint?
No.
Okay.
That ruins the entire integrity of this game.
I guess I should have just shut the fuck up because you just said that I swayed your thinking, so... I already failed.
Yeah, I mean... I definitely think I was going A in the first place. So just ignoring the fact that you...
So, here's what I'll say. When I said what I just said, I genuinely not intending to influence your answer in any way.
Right.
So, if you pick A, that's fine. I'm just saying, don't go for it because I summarized you to A.
No, I agree with that. I think that's why I said on one hand, I agree with every step that you summarized, and the conclusion that you draw from that is the conclusion that I draw from that. And there's no, I don't think there's any persuasion going on there, and the only potential persuasion is the fact that you did it at all, which is just I don't think that's a thing. I don't think that's real. So, persuasion hat, are we going to do it? Are we really going to say that they changed this line from "When I be riding, man, I swear I see your face at every turn, trying to get my Usher on, but I can't let it burn"? Are we really thinking that they changed it to "When I be dancing, man, I swear I see your face at every turn, singing with the Kids Bop kids, but I can't let it burn"? Or maybe it is Usher. I don't know. Kids Bop. It hasn't been Kids Bop yet. I'm really either it's Kids Bop and I'm right and it's good, or it's not Kids Bop and Kids Bop can let me down one last time. So Kids Bop, the A version.
All right, your final answer is A, and it so turns out that Kids Bop let you down. The correct answer is E, no change. And honestly, when I read this lyric, I was like, this cannot be the lyric. They could not have left this to be the same lyric, because, I mean, first of all, Usher, seems like they would obviously change that, but also, Raiden, I thought that was pretty bad.
Yep.
But so if you remember when we did our second version and we had the lyric, "I watched you let it swim," which I still have not gotten over. When we did that, we went and listened to the song and we were like, wait, this is not what it actually says. Do you remember that?
Yes, yeah.
So when I read this lyric, I'm like, this cannot be real. This cannot be the actual lyric. So I went and listened to the song, and this is the actual lyric. They actually left it as that. So
that's
all right.
I won't say that's unbelievable, but it seemed very unlikely to me.
Yeah, I would agree with that statement. So, all right, we are way over at hour 24 here, I think.
Cool.
So I guess your final score here is 2 for 12, which is better than last time. So if you were following along, send us an email with what your score was. Our email can be found at our website, which is alexandalex@joelthepodcast.github.io/alexandalex@joelthepodcast.website. And you can let us know whether you beat Nathan. And also let me know what you thought of my lyric making skills. Whether it was too hard or too easy or actually pretty good. All right. That's it. Thanks for listening, everybody. I'm Alex.
I'm Alex.
And this has been our podcast,
Joel.